I'm John Kostrzewa, the business editor of the Providence Journal, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about a series of stories our staff is working on about the middle class and the Rhode Island economy. Why the economy? Because the economy affects everything. Individuals, families, households, communities, cities, towns, the state, all our budgets. And many of you know that for many years now, Rhode Island's economy has been one of the worst in the country. The staff dug into the data and started with this. If you look at the average income of Rhode Islanders over a period of time, that's broken into 5 categories. We went back to 1990 to see what happened to those average incomes in those categories over a period of time. So you start in 1990, rich people do pretty well during the 90s and even better in the last decade. The wannabe rich, the upper middle class, sort of follows the same trend line. But here's where the issue comes in. The middle class, this red line here, from 1990 starts to fall, and falls even more in the last decade. The working poor follows the same trend line down one, and the poor take the biggest hit of all. This shows fragmentation. This shows division. It shows us splitting apart, and that's a problem. When you put this data on top of the other data you were familiar with by now that we report month after month, our unemployment rate is the highest in the country. We have 49,000 people out of work and tell the government they're looking for work. Thousands of other people have dropped out of the labor force. Our middle-class wages have slumped. Middle-class jobs have disappeared. In fact, 19,000 jobs were still behind from where we were at the peak. All that says a troubled economy. And the staff's idea was to help make you understand that, with the idea of how we were going to fix it. So, where did we start? We want to start right in the middle. Why? Because it's the middle class that drives our economy. It's the middle class that buys the televisions, buys the cars, buys the stuff in our households. In fact, 70% of our economy is driven by consumer spending. If the middle class is not spending, if they're not driving the economy, we stall, we sag. And this line shows we got problems. So we're going to start with stories there. Stories about middle-class families, stories about middle-class people who were working, became unemployed, and have fallen out of the middle-class people that had to leave Rhode Island because the jobs have left. And then we're going another step further. Rhode Island is sort of fragmented. We know Rhode Island's economy is one of the worst in the country. So how does that compare? What's going on in the country? Well, we looked at another piece of data, the same set. Household incomes across the country. We broke them down into 5 categories. We went back to the 1990s, and we saw during the time of economic prosperity in the 90s, all 5 lines went up. Very, very different to these that shows 3 of ours going down. After the recession, we had some fall off here. But this looks much different than Rhode Island, which means Rhode Island's work is really cut out for us. We hope all of this gives you an understanding of what's going on in Rhode Island, a deeper understanding, and it starts a debate. And the timing is right this year. Why? Because we have candidates running for governor. We have candidates running to fill mayor's seat around the state. We have a new General Assembly that's going to be reelected. This is the time for all those people running to bring their ideas forward. We'll have a lot of ideas ourselves from the Providence Journal, and we hope that makes a debate. Why? Because the goal is to have a better understanding of what's going on, so then we can fix it. Hope you stay with us, read our stories. Thank you very much.